One thing we do in society is we wound people with big personalities without even realizing. And yet we need to realize that having people who have big personalities in the society is a blessing in one way or another. There is nothing as beautiful as a person with a strong personality who is self-aware, who knows how to apply empathy, who has self-control, who is charismatic, who understands how to handle people, and who understands the psychology of people and their minds. What we need to do is to build up these people and cultivate their vulnerability. We need to show them it is okay to actually not be able to show up every time. It is okay, growing up, I'm one person with a big personality, and I used to feel like I have to show up every time. But now, after I got safe spaces, I got an assurance that, you can actually not do anything, but you're still of the essence, you still matter, and you're still valued. So people with huge personalities need to be around people who actually value them, even when they're not really doing what they're always used to do. When they're pausing, when they're taking a minute, when they're taking a breather, People who are around people with big personality, if you are raising a child with a big personality, if you're having friends with a big personality, I need you to understand that these people are always emotionally sensitive, and it takes a lot of reassurance for them to get to do a lot of things. They don't have it all figured out. But one thing I realize is people assume that if this person is this loud, if this person is this expressive, people tend to think they have it all figured out. And that is why it is wrong. Because people with such personalities are still growing, When you look at people like Oprah Winfrey, I'll give that example. She's someone who has really grown her craft. She has grown her personality, and it is impactful. And that is why people from different nations can actually refer back to her. Do you know why? It's because her big personality was met with empathy, was met with understanding, was met with nurturing. You have to feed a person with big personality what they need to be fed on. A big personality can be a very big blessing to people in society if utilized well, and it can actually be very chaotic if it is not guided, So it is important, if you have a big personality, get someone you can sit under and learn some things from them. If you feel like you're not empathetic, you find yourself, you are drawn to condemning more than accommodating and loving, it is important to actually realize that you're supposed to extend grace. And one sad thing about having a big personality, people will notice. People will notice, guys. People will notice. You might say, oh, I didn't like the color of that cake. It was green and I prefer blue. And it's not only you who would say that, but do you know what? Because you said it, it's gonna really cause a ripple effect. So sometimes people with big personality do not realize that their words hold a lot of power. So if you're a person with a big personality in any space, at work, in school, wherever you are, whatever you are pursuing, as long as there are places where you're interacting with people, you need a lot of emotional intelligence, and you need to be aware that your words carry a lot of weight. Because there are people who will just say, I didn't like the blue cake, I wish it was maroon, and it will never be a problem. But when a person with big personality says it, it becomes an issue, because people tend to listen so much and take in what people with big personalities have to say. Do you know why? It's because their words carry power, their words can influence, their words sink deep. It is effort, they effortlessly influence spaces. So if you're a person with a big personality, it would be beautiful if you choose to build yourself up, understand emotions, learn self-control, learn empathy. And then with understanding all these things, then you'll be able to actually impact people in the right direction. One thing I would tell people with such personalities, it is actually okay to take as much space as you need to take. The world is so abundant. The universe is so abundant. And if God has placed you somewhere and you need to take much space, take much space. Take as much space as you ought to take. And that does not mean now you start becoming proud. It does not mean you now start being cruel, It means now you begin to impact people, but in a beautiful way. You begin to merge your energy, your ability, you begin to build yourself up and cause a ripple effect. How beautiful it is to have a big personality. How beautiful it is that when your presence, when you get into a room, your presence is felt. How beautiful it is to bring out an opinion that really impacts people and you go out and is indisputed. It is beautiful to have a big personality. Don't let anyone talk you down. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're doing too much. You're just not too much. You're not too much. They're not enough. When someone is to address a big personality and they try to bring down the big personality, then that person has insecurity issues. There's a difference between nurturing someone and watering them down. A person with a big personality, if you are someone listening to me and you have a big personality, choose what you listen to, choose who you listen to, and choose to stay around people who make you feel safe with being who you are. Because there are a lot of people with huge personalities who've been made to think shrinking is humility. Shrinking is not humility.